Hello and happy Friday. This is Cassie. Welcome back to my channel for another video. Today we are going to be showing the Summer Blooms Paper Crafting Kit by Trinity Stamps. This is brand new, released today. I'm so excited about it, and it is limited edition, so if you're interested at all, you better jump on it. And I'm going to have all the information linked down below, but let's talk about the things that come in this kit. You're going to get this stamp set. This is the 4x8 Summer Blooms stamp set. It's beautiful, and it does coordinate with a previously released stamp set. And then we have this matching die. Love that. This new thing is the 4x8 Trinity Stamps product pocket for storage, and I love that. It's nice and sturdy, has a little tab at the top, so it's super easy to put in there. I do like to keep my product like cardboard piece with it, or what cardstock piece with it, so I had to trim mine down just a little bit, but it fits in there great. Then I can put my stamp set on the one side, and I can go ahead and fit all of my dies on the back side. Oftentimes I'll take my dies and put those on a magnetic sheet, but I decided let's just throw them in there. It works just fine, and it keeps everything in there, and then I can save this little magnetic sheet for something else. But yeah, everything stays nice and snug in there. It's perfect, and it's nice and sturdy. So that's awesome. I'm going to be reaching for that a lot. And hopefully she'll start carrying these pockets in the store. But oh, see, and it even keeps my dies in there pretty well as well. All right, you're also going to get this paper. This paper is so beautiful. It's a 12-piece collection of double-sided 6x9 papers, 2 sheets of 6 double-sided designs. And I did try it out with both, or two of those sheets. You can make a slimline envelope super easy. So I did do that off camera, but yes, you can make an envelope with 2 of these sheets super easy. It's awesome, and look at how beautiful all these are. Double-sided. I love the colors that come in this kit. Oh, look at that patterned paper. You know I love me some patterned paper. And there's so many pretty ones in there. Ooh. All right, you're also going to get all of this that you see here. So all these ink cubes, these are all by Ink on 3. They're the mini ink cubes. You're going to get Fade Out, the Fade Out No Line Coloring Ink, Sweet Petunia Pink, Marigold Orange, and Goddess Green. And you're also going to get this little embellishment container of Summer Sparkles. That is an exclusive mix of rhinestones in Trinity Stamps' signature storage box. I also forgot to mention that you're getting that zip top bag that you see there. That keeps everything nice and in there and makes it easy to travel and color if you need to, or just keep all your projects together. But we are going to be doing some no-line coloring. I'm not super great at this. In fact, I've only done it a couple of times, so this will show you how easy it is. You'll need watercolor paper, which I stamped mine out on some watercolor paper using that Fade Out ink. And then you're going to need a water brush, like a regular paintbrush and water will work, but I did something special. I grabbed out the Spectrum Noir Crystal Clear water brush. And technically it's not really a water brush, it just has a lot of sparkle in it, and I'll show you up close what that means. So all I did is I took my cube, put that right onto my glass mat, and then I'm grabbing the color as I need it, sometimes squeezing just a little bit of that liquid out so that I can paint. And this will use up your brush pretty good, your brush and your sparkle inside, but this is such a gorgeous way to do some coloring, some watercoloring. In fact, I may just have to do this more often because I love the sparkle that it gives. It's just fabulous. All right, I'll bring in that Sweet Petunia Pink and we will color the blooms. What I love about the Fade Out is that it kind of just grabs the color that you're putting on top and makes that a little darker. So for me, because I'm not great at this no-line coloring, it makes it that much easier to at least see the lines and to, capitalize on those as well. Add the shading where I think it needs to go. And so it just basically gives you a darker version of whatever color you're putting on top. So I struggle trying to do it with Copic markers because I tend to color lightest to darkest. And when you go ahead and slap down your light color, it basically makes that fade out disappear. So that is an instance where going dark to light works better, but for watercoloring, I can do it. So check that out and then look at the sparkle. I'm going to hold it back up again and you're really going to see, I just love it. Oh my gosh, it just makes my heart go pitter patter. So I'm going to rush through kind of the rest of this. That the one pink rose, I did the same, but for this bloom or this big image, I decided to combine some of those colors. Those first two images that I colored, I basically just used what you see. Use the color that you see. And I'm also making this go 4 times as fast as I would normally color. But now that I've put all of the color down, I'm going to start blending some of that color together. So pink and green would definitely give you like a brown. And so I'm going to use that as some of my shading. And, you know, you wouldn't want to get too crazy carried away because then it'll just like look like mud on there. But if you are subtle with it, you can get it to look like shading. And so that is what I'm doing. And then I'm even going to bring the pink and the orange together, and it'll make a whole different color all on its own. So I'll put those two down, and then I'm just going to come in with the pink as my shading. And I'm already loving how that looks. It's like this coral type color with those two together. And then let that dry just a tiny bit, and then I'll come in with that pink and add that shadowing where I feel like it is needed. I love it. So play around with your colors. Sometimes you can get stuff to blend in a better way. And sometimes you can end up being super happy with, like now taking that pink and putting it on top of the orange to add my shadowing and shading. And I like that as well. So that was super fun. And again, super, super sparkly. So I believe I will show you that as well close up to the camera. But take a look. And then it's considered no line coloring. How fun is that? All right, now I'm going to tack down the matching dies that go along with these. And like I said, this kit is an exclusive kit. None of these items are sold separately. And if you like that flower stamp, that may or may not be available like a year from now or down the line somewhere. So if you like it, you got to jump on it, and it is definitely worth the value that it is. There's also going to be a promotion going on that if you do decide to get the first bloom along with this, which you'll have to put all those in your cart, they're giving you 20% off of first bloom. All right, I'm going to take some stamp sets that I have just because I need some sentiments. And so this stamp set that I'm using is the supporting script. And I'm just going to put that into my MISTI so I can make sure and stamp those out. And I am grabbing out a couple more dies. This one is the Stitched Stack Mini-Slimline. It's the smallest one. And I'm going to ink up all my sentiments and stamp those down. And then I'm going to take that smallest Stitch Stack Mini-Slimline die, and I'm going to cut all of these out. And it works perfectly with the You're in My Prayers, because I'm going to make 3 cards for you today. So we'll run that through our die cutting machine for all 3 of those sentiments, and they'll all have a beautiful stitched edge around them. I also took the biggest one over some of that patterned paper, and well, I guess I didn't use the smallest one on the sentiments. I used the smallest one on these 2 strips of patterned paper, and I'm just kind of lining up where I want things to go, and then I'll start adhering things down with a little bit of liquid glue. Now this is going to hang off of that edge, and that's fine. I'm going to line this up on my glass mat so that I can get those fairly straight. And I'll do that for the other piece as well. And then I'm actually going to use some foam tape on the back of my flower, but I'm just kind of positioning things where I want it, and then I'll stick down the happy thoughts. And all that has stitching around it. I love that stitching detail because, as you guessed, we're making a mini slimline. So foam tape on the back of that, peel off all that release paper, and then I can stick down my flower. And then now that those are fairly dry, well, I guess I'm going to put some rhinestones on first, which I don't know why I do that when it's not attached to a card base. That should be my last step. But hey, we're going with it. And I'm using those rhinestones that were in the kit. We'll trim off the excess here, and then we're going to grab out a piece of 6x6 cardstock and score that at 3 inches. So this will make a mini slimline. Then I can take my piece and I can just take that liquid glue and adhere this right down to that card base. So we have our first card all done. I love it. Look at how quick and easy those came together. I love just stamping out images and coloring a bunch of them up, and then you can just go bam and make a bunch of cards. So there's our first one. So let's jump into our second one. We're going to make a 5x7. So we went from mini slimline to now an A7. I'm going to pull out this die, which is the Modern Embossed A7 dies, and I'm going to take that onto some of that patterned paper. I'm going to run that through with the big one. And I'm going to also run it through that same piece on the back side with a smaller one. So we've got this nice layered piece, and it also has a beautiful embossed edge all around that. Just kind of trying to decide how I want this to go, and I decide it looks better doing it this way. And then I can grab the You're in My Prayers. So I'll attach down this piece of pattern paper to my other one, and that's going to be our panel. I'll put some foam tape on the back of our flowers, peel that off all that release paper, and we'll pop that down. And then we'll take the You're in My Prayers and stick that down with a little bit of liquid glue. And then we'll be ready to stamp on the inside. So I'm going to take my marigold orange and stamp the same flower on the inside. And if you missed my video from Wednesday, I did a sneak peek of this. And so I actually show you another way to use this, just using the colors themselves rather than doing the no line coloring like I did. You can absolutely just flat out stamp with those colors. And now we'll stick down all of our rhinestones. Love it. And I was pretty liberal, since this is a 5x7 card. I was pretty liberal with all those different rhinestones. And I love how there's so many different colors in here. But that's going to finish off card number 2. Like I said, you know, when you just stamp out a bunch of images and color them up, which I tend to do when we're on the go, then I have lots to be able to make cards with. All right, and then for our final card, we're going to make another mini slimline. So scoring that at 3 inches again. All right, then we're going to bring it, watch me. I had to show you. The mishaps happen all the time with me. So I'll pick up the mess I make, try to back everything up, and then I'm going to cut down some pattern paper. This is about 2 inches by 6 inches, and then I'll just adhere this to the middle of my card base. And I kind of was trying to think of how I wanted to do stuff. I decided I wanted to put a little splatter on that background. So these are really great for splatter as well. Using that same, I'll put a little bit of water in there and use that same sparkle pen and then just splatter, splatter, splatter all over that background. So these ink pads have a lot of great use. And that's fairly dry, so we're just going to go ahead and move on to the next thing, which was putting some foam tape on our flower. Pop that down. Well, actually, I need to decide where I'm going to put my sentiment. So we'll put our, once I've decided where our sentiment's going to go, and I can't get that off my finger, we're going to put our sentiment down, and then we'll prop our flower right on top of that. And of course, we'll come in with some more rhinestones because, yeah, they're gorgeous. And that's going to finish off our third card for today. So then I'll show you all 3 cards that we made. Love to know if you had a favorite out of these. Again, I'm going to have the video that I made for Wednesday with a sneak peek of this. So that I'll have that link down below so you can go check that out. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And be sure to hit that description box down below. There's an Instagram hop going on. There's so many great things. So read that description box. And I will see you very soon in another video. Bye, everybody.